Welcome to the Deep Dive. We unpack fascinating stories, give you that shortcut to being truly well-informed. Today, we're diving into something really special. It's a phenomenon that shows how some traditions, kind of against all odds, they evolve, from simple gatherings into these really enduring legacies. And it seems often fueled by friendship and shared memory. Powerful stuff.
It's remarkable, isn't it? And often they aren't these, grand, perfectly planned events from the start. It's more like something born from a genuine connection that just snowballs over decades. Yeah. Creating something much deeper than what you see on the surface. It really speaks to that fundamental human need for community, for remembering.
Absolutely. And our deep dive today is into exactly that kind of story, the Vail Classic, or JVC as it's known. For nearly 4 decades now, this gathering has continued, not for athletic skill or trophies, but for something much, much deeper. Our discussion today is built on this stack of notes we have detailing the JVC's rich history, and it also includes some crucial info about its big upcoming 40th annual event in 2026.
Right. So for you, our listener, our mission here is pretty clear. We want to explore the fascinating origins of this unique event. We'll try to dissect that unwavering spirit that's kept it alive for so long, and uncover what makes this upcoming 40th anniversary really significant. By the end, you should have the full picture, a real shortcut to understanding this special tradition.
Okay, so let's start right at the beginning with the man himself, Vail. He's the person honored by the Classic, and his story is, well, it's central to everything. Tragically, Jim passed away on January 3rd, 1987, but the seed for the JVC, as these notes show, was actually planted even before that sad day.
Yeah, it's a powerful example of how a community can turn tragedy into a lasting tribute. The tournament initially wasn't even called the Vail Classic. It started as the Pete Scott Invitational. That was held in Whistler back in 1986. Jim played in that first one along with a lot of his close friends. It was only after he passed away that this existing sort of bond, this camaraderie, transformed, and the event was renamed the Vail Classic in his honor, a very direct, poignant evolution.
And what really jumps out from these notes about Vail himself, especially considering it's called the Vail Classic, is that he wasn't famous for his golf game. In fact, the notes explicitly say he wasn't a great golfer at all. But he excelled at racket sports, was apparently pretty good at pool, at least on a small home table. And most importantly, he was, by all accounts, just an exceptional friend. So how does that detail about his, let's say, lack of golfing prowess ironically become the strength of an enduring golf classic?
Well, that's the core insight right there, isn't it? It really suggests the JVC lasted precisely because its focus was never really on athletic skill. By centering the event on Jim's actual character, his warmth, his friendships, it sort of consciously avoided the competitive pressures that, often break groups apart or make things exclusive. The notes imply it became a celebration of connection, not conquest. Simple as that. It lowered the barrier to entry, made sure everyone felt welcome, whatever their handicap. And that inclusive spirit, more than chasing a perfect score, that became the glue.
That makes perfect sense. Okay, so with that spirit of friendship already there, even before his passing, how quickly did that turn into the very first official Vail Classic? And what was that like? Because judging from the raw honesty in these notes, the first JVC in 1987, down in Sudden Valley, Washington, it sounds like it immediately set the tone for the JVC legend. It was apparently a wild time, so wild actually, that the notes mention most players ended up crashing on Jim's brother Bob's hotel room floor. What does that specific kind of chaotic detail tell us about the real spirit this event had right from day one?
It's a perfect origin story, isn't it? That anecdote just instantly dismisses any idea of some stuffy, exclusive golf tournament. It just screams resourceful friends making it happen, whatever it takes, And the detail about Bob being the only one with a credit card, that's not just funny. It's kind of a testament to that low-frills, high-connection vibe that became the JVC's signature. It set the stage for valuing just being there over, having everything perfect. And adding to that, the notes confirm the first winning score was 100, which tells you pretty clearly these weren't pros, not even close. It wasn't meant as an insult. It was just a clear sign that the golf was, the excuse for something more important.
It really frames the whole thing, doesn't it? Makes it crystal clear the main purpose of the JVC was always just for friends to get together, remember Jim, and honor him. And from what these notes suggest, the main sport often seems to have been drinking and sharing stories, more than meticulously counting every golf stroke anyway. It really captures that spirit of a lively reunion. What's the takeaway from an event where the actual sport is sort of secondary?
I think it's a really powerful lesson in human connection. It underlines that the heart of the JVC isn't on the scoreboard, right? It's in the shared memories, the laughter, the camaraderie. This isn't just a golf tournament, it's an annual tradition of remembrance and connection. The golf is more like the vehicle for the social gathering. It's this intentional choice to prioritize the relationships over the results, which ironically is probably a huge reason why it's lasted so incredibly long.
And it really did become this traveling tradition, adapting and moving over the years. That's another fascinating part of these notes. The JVC has been held in a really surprising number of locations across North America. We're talking Kelowna, Kamloops, Penticton, back to Sudden Valley, Marysville, Washington, Whistler, Metro, Vancouver, Victoria. It reads like a travelogue of friendship.
Yeah, and beyond just listing the cities, the notes kind of paint a picture of specific places that got woven into the JVC legend. What's compelling here are these mentions of memorable spots, like roses and flashbacks in Kelowna, Buffalo Bills in Whistler, the Blue Gator in Kamloops, Gyro Beach, rural Route 7. These weren't just random bars or restaurants. They clearly became these unofficial clubhouses, places where the true spirit of the JVC really came out after the golf was done. It highlights that the social hubs were just as vital as the courses themselves, becoming these kind of emotional landmarks where that main sport of drinking and connection really happened, cementing memories that last way longer than any golf score.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting and frankly pretty remarkable. The JVC has maintained an unbroken streak. The 2026 JVC will be its 40th annual event, and they have never missed a year. Just think about that. 40 consecutive years, every single one. They even managed a scaled-down version during a pandemic, which, looking at these notes, shows just incredible dedication. How does a volunteer-run event purely for friendship achieve that kind of consistency, especially when so many other traditions just fade away?
That's the million-dollar question, right? For anyone trying to build something lasting. The notes seem to suggest some clear lessons here for sustaining traditions. First, it seems to be about having a deep but adaptable purpose. Remembering Jim overrides any rigid format. Second, there's likely some distributed effort going on. The fact that it travels probably spreads the organizational load over time across different people or small groups. That prevents burnout for any one person. Third, and this seems critical, radical inclusivity, which we see demonstrated even in the flexible options for the 40th anniversary. It ensures the door is always open, prioritizing just being there over performance, meaning more people can consistently take part over the long haul. These aren't just minor details. They feel like the architectural blueprints for building lasting community traditions.
And now, looking ahead to this incredible milestone, the 2026 Jim Vail Classic. It's clearly said to be a huge celebration for the 40th anniversary. We've got some key details for you from the notes. The dates are locked in: Friday, September 11th and Saturday, September 12th, 2026. The location is set for the Metro Vancouver area. Specific courses are still being nailed down, but the region is chosen strategically.
Right, and that strategic choice of Vancouver is quite telling, I think. The organizing committee, it seems, really wants to maximize attendance. They're hoping as many current and past members as possible can come out and honor Jim. This isn't just about putting on another tournament. It's clearly about facilitating a grand reunion, making sure everyone who has a connection to Jim or the JVC over the years can be part of this really special occasion. It speaks right back to that core principle of inclusivity we were just talking about.
And they're really making it as accessible as possible, which is another brilliant move. The flexibility they're offering is smart. There will be 2 days of golf, yes, but people can choose to golf on just one day or both days, or if schedules are just too tight, you can even just attend the dinner on the Saturday night. This kind of tiered flexibility is clearly designed to accommodate busy lives, making sure that spirit of just gathering remains the top priority.
Yeah, that flexible approach really shows a deep understanding of people's lives 40 years on, right? It makes sure the primary goal, remembrance and connection, isn't overshadowed by the demands of the game itself. They're also stressing the importance of early notice, especially for out-of-towners, so they can make arrangements, which again just speaks to their dedication to maximizing participation and making this anniversary truly unforgettable.
Indeed. So if you're interested, or maybe you know someone who might be connected to this, keep an eye out. More information about the 2026 JVC will definitely be released in the coming months. And if you have questions right now, the notes say you can reach out directly to Mark Whitworth. He's the 2026 Organizing Committee Chairman. His email is markwhitworth@me.com. That's markwhitworth@me.com. He apparently shared his sincere hope that just as many people as possible with any connection to Jim will come out to share a drink, have a toast, and just remember a truly great friend.
That open invitation, it really reinforces the core identity of the JVC, doesn't it? It's not exclusive, it's this inclusive tribute, a real testament to the enduring power of friendship and memory. It's an opportunity for a whole community built around a shared past to come together and collectively celebrate a life and the bonds that life created.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the Jim Vail Classic, it's just profoundly clear, isn't it? This event is so much more than just some golf tournament. It's a powerful, enduring testament to friendship, to memory, and to the remarkable creation of a truly unique, long-standing tradition. It's a gathering where camaraderie genuinely trumps competition every single time, by design.
Yeah, and it makes you consider the spirit of the JVC,
Right.
right? An event that prioritizes connection and remembrance over scores, over individual skill, maybe even over the game itself sometimes. It's a powerful motto, really, for how traditions can evolve and sustain themselves, showing that a deep, adaptable purpose combined with distributed effort and that radical inclusivity,
Right.
those seem to be the real ingredients for longevity.
And here's maybe a thought for you to mull over as you go about your day. In a world that's constantly seeking new experiences, chasing fleeting trends, what does it truly mean for a tradition rooted purely in remembrance to not just survive, but to thrive for 40 consecutive years, never missing a single beat? Perhaps the greatest tournaments aren't the ones with the best players or the biggest prize pots, but maybe they're the ones that best preserve a beloved memory and foster the kind of lasting bonds that endure through decades. What enduring traditions in your own life, or maybe in your community, hold a similar, deeper meaning beyond just their service activity? Something to reflect on. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.